Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
Welcome to the Chippy Tea podcast, episode number 85, with me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny D, Flippy Sweet Print Co.
See, it's easy. We just fall straight back into it. So you're invited to join us as we have a little bit of a ramble, a catch up, and a good old natter about what we've been doing for the last bit of time since we last spoke. We say that tongue in cheek. It's been a while. We've both been really busy, but we're back on it now. So it's your chance to catch up with a video call between two printers who are basically trying to negotiate whatever it is we call garment decoration. So we will kick off with what you've been doing, Danny.
Where do I start?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Shall we throw it back? Shall I do a show and tell? Not done one of these in a long time.
Give us a show and tell.
Ready?
Check you out.
Don't look at ceiling. Oh, it's not working. Hang on. Oh, as if Chippy Tea couldn't get any more nostalgic.
You've obviously hired a cameraman. I think you should fire him.
It's Annie. Annie stood here with webcam.
Awesome. That looks like a bitch to print.
No, beautiful.
Right.
I really love printing. Did I ever tell you that? Right now, I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is.
That looks more than capable of doing on your press. That looks more like more colours than you've got.
I'm good at it. So, 6 colours. Straight plastisol, which might be a new one to hear.
As in base?
That's straight plastisol. Every single colour.
Okay.
Which might be a topic of discussion later.
Okay.
Sept by myself. The entire process. Sept, 6 colours. And I just... What a dream. I'm properly in love with screen printing again. Not that I ever lost it, but every time I put a good 6 colour or some, complex on press, I'm like 100%, as close to 100% satisfied as I've ever been. And I mean, to say this is plastisol, there's no feel. There's no hand to that at all.
No.
It's not shiny. That's not shiny.
No.
Like... Come back. I might have to turn that off. That's not ideal, is it?
It's all right if you're not doing a show and tell. I don't think we thought that one through. Right, well,
Bit better.
That's
yeah.
better.
There we go. Yeah, so I just in love with printing again. Honestly.
Yeah, it looks good. That. What was the secret then? So, what was the white base on a what mesh?
White base on a 90.
On a 90, how many times did you hit it?
3 and 1, so
2 pulls.
Print, 2 pulls. 1 flood,
2
2
pulls. 1 flash, only round once, or?
Yeah, round ones. Printed the white, flashed it.
Really?
Colours top and top, yeah.
Did you flash any colours?
No. Nope.
Check you out.
And
wet on wet printing, it is possible.
Oh yeah, totally possible. It's quite easy, honestly. I've been having trouble. I would have had more trouble if it was on a V2 base. Okay. The way of doing things that I've done for a lot of years was a little bit more problematic. And as I've started to use plastisol altogether more, I've not completely chucked V2 in bin, but I've been using a lot more plastisol white than I ever have done.
Main reason. Snap answer. What's the real reason?
It's not a pain it has to print.
Easiness. Yeah, it's easy to print.
And actually now, but I have the auto and I have the tools to print and control the parameters. My plastisol prints are really quite soft and smooth and not overly shiny. There's no gritty texture, which is traditionally associated. I'm not getting that, and that's because I'm doing the separations. I'm controlling the amount of ink that goes down. I'm using a high mesh with tight tension, etc. Making all the right decisions before it goes on press, and then getting really good results from it. Basically,
You sound like me.
But there's a little bit more to come. There's a bit more to come. Am I 1000% satisfied that I could shut the lid on my V2 and feel like I'll never touch it again? Not yet. And whether that's a decision I'll actually make at all, probably not, because I do like my V2.
Is that feel? Or there is a discernible difference in the look. Okay, I can't quite describe it, but you can see that it's V2 and you can see that it's plastisol.
Yeah,
but I think only a printer would. I don't think the customer can.
I think I'm closing that gap. I think the plastisol prints that I've been doing recently is getting ever so close. But I guess, but I come from printing white V2 with plastisol colours on top. So I guess that gap actually, the feel and print that I get looks different to straight V2 anyway. So I guess I'm not, it's not too far apart. But I'm super happy with what I'm producing. Full plastisol.
Good.
More to come.
Reducer, and are you putting a reducer in there or?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Check
that's a decision that has come from printing wet on wet, and where I was having problems. One day I decided no reducer, none of my magic formula, no additives whatsoever. Just run everything straight. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Run it straight. Let's see what happens. And it did make a difference to printing wet on wet. I had less problems halfway through a print run where all of a sudden one colour started picking. That all of a sudden stopped. So I almost went back to basics, I guess. Basics and fundamentals. And then I'm building on that from here.
Yeah.
Fine-tuning, tweaking.
That's good. It is possible. It's definitely possible.
I've made a good investment. You ready for this?
Go on.
You'll like this. Because usually I'll tell you I've invested in something and you'll be like, you're a dick. You've wasted your money.
You bought a mixer.
How did you know? Yeah. Anatol mixer.
Did you buy one? A little turnabout thing, the mini one.
Yeah. The mini, it's got like a little LED screen on and stuff. Got to take a couple of weeks to get here, but got it from Kidpacks.
Yeah. He's the Anatol dealer, isn't he? I can't get this light right, mate. It's doing my boxing.
And this is the production value you've all missed.
Somebody asked me the other day. Actually, yesterday, somebody sent me a link. I'm getting really problems with the cold. Can I buy one of these? And it was a heater, like a barrel heater, like a drum heater. Think of it like a slow cooker, really.
Yeah, that's a bit of a thing that people have done for a lot of years. Is it? I think you'll disagree with that.
I will absolutely say no. In that we're starting to warm up the ink to a point where it's starting the cure process, and it's really dangerous. It gets really sticky. You know yourself when your palettes are hot and you feel the back of the screen and it starts to get solid. That's what we're in danger of doing in the pot. And even though you have it, I only have it on low, it's still heat, still generating heat. Really, we need to move it, not warm it.
Yeah, I must admit, I was guilty of using that trick. I used to have a slow cooker. I used to warm me plastisols up in it. And I thought I was warming it through, but I think, as you say, as you're changing the state, it's almost like setting the curing process off in its tracks, and really you just need to be agitating it.
Yeah.
Loosen it up.
It's not great.
So
Move it. That's all it's about. Keep it moving.
and plus
It's like a stubborn teenager.
those mixes are quite new on scene. I know they've existed for a lot of years, but these new Anatol mixes, and there's a couple. I think Ryanet's got one now. They're easily accessible. They're not crazy expensive. And
I think the thing I liked about that, I saw it at Rice's and Merch Shops, and when I saw two of them, I thought they must be really useful because they're so small. Yeah, it's a lovely little compact. It'll do a kilo, a quart, a litre, really well.
I did consider buying two. I think I probably will once I've got the first one and I've give it a go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get two because I would like one that's got white in.
Constantly doing white.
Almost permanent. There's no point swapping and cleaning sticks.
I see the shakers a lot over here. So the shakers are used a lot over here. You know, like the B&Q shakers. Yeah, B&Q shakers, yeah. And when I asked for a price of them, they were only $5,000.
Oh, yeah, only $5,000.
Well, when you look at some of the mixers can be 7 to 10. The big ones. The big turnabout ones, yeah.
I suppose it depends.
They'll do like a 25-litre drum.
If you're a big shop and you're doing buckets of ink, then
the white comes in 5 gallons, 25 litres. So you need a big old motor to turn them ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to add a percentage.
Apart from the cleaning, it's just the cleaning bit I don't like.
Well, this is where I'm thinking too. White you'd never touch, and then a separate one for colours.
Or use a palette knife and hold it.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Because I believe they do come off, don't they?
Yes, so just use a palette knife. Stick a palette knife in the top for your colours.
Oh,
leave your white turning over, but for your colours, just put palette knife in top.
Good shout.
Saves you
I'll let you know how that goes.
Masturbation fatigue.
My forearms are super strong, so.
Say no more.
One of them is, anyway.
A squeegee arm.
Gosh. Hey, where are you anyway? It's a lovely looking.
I'm in Texas, in USA. So we haven't done a thing for ages, have we? So
no, so much to catch up on.
I came over to Texas early October. There is a show over here, which is ISS. So that's the same organisation that does Long Beach Impressions.
Oh yeah,
Impression Sportswear. I think they do 3, maybe 4 a year, and this was one of the bigger ones. Is Fort Worth. I've actually done it before. 2019, I came to this one.
Right, it's been a while then.
Back in day, yeah. Before COVID, BC.
Oh, so is this the first show, or is it just the first time you've been back?
First time I've been back since COVID. To Fort Worth, anyway. Fort Worth is... I think Texas might rapidly become my favourite place.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's how you would imagine America to be if you'd never been.
Yeah, very stereotypical. Not in a bad way.
But not in a bad way. No, it's how you would envisage America. You know, there are people walking around in cowboy hats and boots, and it's perfectly normal. There is I think it's got no income tax here.
Oh,
so everything's. Everything else is taxed. Don't get me wrong. Everything when you get a receipt, it reads like a telephone book. It's like, what's all these tax? But there's no income tax, and it's quite a wealthy, big place. I quite like Texas. I must admit. Then I've been all over. Went back up to Minneapolis where it's normally cold, and it was 23, 24 degrees, so that's good. We did a little show and tell seminar up at a print shop in Minnesota. This is a guy that I've known since I started coming over here, Alex, at Fresh Made Merch. And we decided to do a seminar because he's just moved premises into this beautiful, big, sort of like 10,000 square foot, 2 presses, Zentner, squeegee washer, auto coater, everything automated. And it's a fantastic little shop. And we decided to do a seminar there where, we get me, the emulsion guy, and I think one other ink guy, to give a bit of a talk in somebody's shop, and we can see an actual really working print shop. It's a great idea. We've thought about it, if you remember.
Yeah, we have.
So yeah, did that. I went up to Montana, met one of the most interesting guys I've known, and I'm still thinking about stuff he says to me 3 weeks later. It's a guy called Alan Benedict up at 12 Ounce Collective.
12 Ounce Collective, yeah.
Really interesting guy. Really could listen. I mean, I can talk about screen print, you know what I mean, until cows come on. This guy takes it to another level, different level. This guy's about quality. This is an interesting topic.
Obsessive?
Yeah, absolutely obsessive about quality. Which, when you back off a little bit, shouldn't we all be? But we're not. There's a massive thing going on in Leicester at the minute where it's quiet and it's dead because everybody's trying to do it cheaper, and not one single person out of the 180 MHM presses around Leicester, not one of them is trying to do it better. And that's the sort of topic that it really does need covering. What do we do? Are we producing a disposable T-shirt? So therefore, it doesn't really matter about the quality, or are we trying to produce like a Balenciaga at 900 quid for a T-shirt with white text on it? Where are we? Because I look at the people in our industry, and it's all about how cheap I can do it. Can I do it cheaper? Can I do it cheaper?
Yeah.
Can I do it cheaper? Can I do it cheaper? And if you say to somebody, my shirts are £1 each more expensive than Joe Blogg's next door. So why? Mine are better. I can't see from 6 foot away. They all look the same. Still says Joe Blogg's hairy ass builders on my shirt. I don't care about what else.
That burden of proof is on us, isn't it? If we're a quality-driven screen printer, the burden is on us to demonstrate and to show potential customers that pound is actually worth paying extra. And how we do that. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. Yeah, exactly right, I guess. It's difficult because I run into situations, and it's happened ever since I started, where I'll get beaten on price, and I'll see quotes that I've written up and had long conversations and put 20 minutes, half an hour of effort into writing up elaborate quotes and telling you why you should have this ink, etc., 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 only to see another printer put that print on their Instagram like a couple of weeks later, and I could list them like that. Because the knife twists every time it happens, so I remember them. Printers that we know, printers that are our mates.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Because everybody's trying to do it cheaper. That's the point I'm trying to make. Are we seeing our own demise? Are we going to be the instruments of our own destruction in a way that, if we keep treating this as a factory job, like screwing lids on toothpaste, then, and we don't really give it the recognition of it being a skill, an art form, then are we destined to just disappear and left behind by the monster that is DTF?
Well, the truth is, there are demographics. There are demographics who are more than happy to turn up to a T-shirt shop that screws lids on toothpaste. They just want whatever, as cheap as possible. They don't give a shit how it washes. They don't give a shit how long it lasts. Just a promotional item. Completely fair enough. There is a place for them there. And then on another scale, you've got the people who are selling quality, who are trying to. What's it doing? I've told it to stop tracking.
Yeah, but you're saying they're separate. Really should be the same. Because whenever these promotional guys exist, somebody asked me the other day, do you know someone that can do a 60 screen job, 3 locations, 8,000 prints in a day? Like, so nobody asked me, do you know someone who'll produce me a shirt that'll knock everybody's socks off? Do you know someone who'll print me a shirt that when you look at it, you'll see it's different? Do you know somebody who'll produce me a shirt that I can sell for £100? Nobody asked me those questions. The questions I get asked is, do you know someone who can do it cheap and fast? What's the triangle?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Cheap, good, fast. You can't have all 3. You can only have 2. If you want it cheap, it won't be. Yeah, cheap, good, and fast.
Well, that's a difficulty, isn't it? That's the thing that we face. That's what makes our life hard. As a quality-driven printer, that's what makes your life difficult, because you're always going to be undercut. You can't charge a price for quality without being undercut. We can all be promotional printers. We can all chuck any old mesh in a press, get some thick plastisol and chuck it on, and yeah, that is a print. It's a print. It's good. It's a print. Yeah, it looks like what your image looks like.
Joe's area has builders,
like that. Yeah, but if you go up to it and feel it and touch it, if it's a promotional item, if it's something that you're giving away in an event, if it's just an area ass builder, maybe they don't give a shit. But if I'm putting that shirt in a retail outlet, everybody touches. Well, maybe I don't know. I touch t-shirts anyway. And
the police told you to stop that now, though. That last girl wasn't happy.
No, she wasn't chuffed. No, it was early. She was here at the time as well. That's what makes it worse. I told her she's 73. She's too old for me. No, so
I'm glad you went that way.
Yeah, it's a difficult.
My issue is, you know, that print you just showed me there.
Yeah.
I know you've put a lot of time and effort into it. I know you put your heart into it. Now, would your approach to that job be any different if I'd have said to you, I'll give you 50 quid for each one of those you print?
No. I did it to the best of my ability, regardless.
And then some people are doing that for 50 pence.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, it's a difficult conversation, isn't it?
It is. It's one that...
Because there's no right or wrong answer, to be honest.
This comes from this guy up in Montana who sort of like wants to approach that subject and wants the standard, the lower standard, to come up so that we can then at least start charging more for it, and it doesn't become like an old-fashioned 80s rag mill, you know, where we've got kids under pressers and we just keep them turning and keep them turning. Nobody's making money out of being printers now. Nobody's getting rich out of being a printer. It's hard work. You have to really slog at it.
I think the process is happening. I mean, we know that the printers who are bulk printing for nothing, or cutting corners, using the cheapest ink they can find, throwing it on any old mesh. It's about getting as many shirts on and off that press in as short a space of time as possible. We know they're struggling a bit at the moment. But we also know the printers who are probably a little bit more quality driven. You could definitely say smaller printers. That's fair. But they're not struggling so much, as far as I know, anyway. I mean, I haven't experienced it, and I'm sure some of the more quality, higher, bigger shops than me are thriving. I'm sure they are, because that's the impression I get anyway. So is that process, is there a catch-up process happening? Or is there a natural cull, as you've called it in the past?
I think there sometimes needs to be. Yeah, I think there needs to be a cull.
This does bring us
on. Well, this brings us on to DTF in a way. You can't ignore what DTF is doing to this industry. It is taking a lot of prints from a lot of presses. It's removing them from the presses. Yeah,
my favourite is at the moment.
This is because the whole garment decoration industry has had a change. I'm fortunate enough to have been seeing it for the last 37 years, when the garment decoration screen printing onto textiles was set up for mass reproduction. That's that's the whole process. That's why we make the screens, why we put them in a rotating machine, why we put 3 or 4 people on it, why it takes so long to get everything right. It's set up for mass reproduction. Today's market wants mass customization.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want mass reproduction. They want mass customization.
Yeah.
So they want everything to be different, but they want lots of it.
Yeah, we do. Nobody wants thousands of t-shirts. Obviously, well, I'm sure we do, but less and less do you get asked for thousands of t-shirts. All is
Not in this country. No, because the demand's not there. So the demand shifted to smaller, more customizable runs, but we're still trying to use the old machinery. Whereas DTG promised to solve that problem. You can have one-offs as many colours as you want, and it's not too much more expensive, but it's still relatively slow. At 2 to 2.5 minutes a shirt, which would be inconceivable in my early days, where every 5 seconds a shirt was coming off. This is proper production line. Everything has to keep moving, and now we're getting to I only want 50. Well, it's a 6-colour job. It's your problem, not mine. So, well, I can do you a DTF print now. So DTF's come along, and we don't need no pre-press. We don't need anything. But it's filling the hole that was, can I have 55 colour shirts?
Yeah.
And DTF says yes. DTG said yes to this by, we can print as many colours you want. It doesn't matter. All right, I want 10 t-shirts and 5 running vests, 100% polyester. DTG won't do that.
No, this is screen print probably won't do it either, to be fair.
No, I know some customers who do it. And then DTF comes along, which is just a transfer with a different name.
Yeah.
DTF is rebranded, because we used to have the Roland Mimaki print and cut machines.
Oh, no, I used to do it.
You used to have to weed it, fair enough, but it was the easiest thing in the world. Yeah, and it got thinner. Some of the easy print stuff from Express was really thin, and I loved it. And you could match the colour of the shirt in the background if you were clever, and so you had less weeding to do. And they withstood a 60-degree wash. Yeah, so transfer's been around for a long time. All we've done is instead of taking a solid white background and cutting out, we started to print the white background. That's all. But it's the same glue we used to have in a cat litter tray at end of a dryer and rub it through before you put it through the dryer. It's the same powder. It's only the inks that are slightly different with being water-based.
Yeah. I've yet to see... The thing is, you would probably argue against this. I've yet to see DTF that doesn't look like a sticker. But I've got limited exposure to it. I think my sort of theory about it, because I know it's sort of a worry for a screen printer, that is DTF is taking work off our presses, and
it's taking shirts off presses, definitely.
Is it going to gain more momentum, and is it almost going to get rid of screen print? That is that's a concern I've heard. In fact, actually, somebody messaged me and asked me that very question. My theory, I expect. Because DTF's so accessible, the number of people who are quality driven, fractional. The rest are putting any old DTF as cheap as they possibly can, pressing it on a shirt. They don't care if there's a sheen, they don't care if you can see glue edges, they don't care if it feels thicker, it's like a sticker on a shirt. And because of that, the impression that the market will have is that's what it's just a thick sticker on a shirt. DTF is and before time, people will start asking for screen print, because screen print don't feel like that. It's a better, it feels like a breathable, nice quality print. And I expect the market impression is what will drive people back to screen print in time. Maybe not, maybe over the course of a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the DTF I see is really good, and it's comparable with screen print. In fact, sometimes it's better because the detail is unbelievable. It's, high resolution. Recently at this show, I saw my first 5-foot DTF printer.
Wow.
So, we're 1.5 metre, like the old Mamarkis and like the old Rolands,
large form.
but running DTF through it. Those sort of guys are going to be printing gang sheets to sell to other printers. So I still think it's a good complement. I don't think it will overtake. There will always be a demand for screen print because of what it is. It's the most durable and feelable way of printing. But because of the demand we've got, certainly in established countries like Europe, England, America, the demand is for small runs below 500 pieces. Now, don't forget, your machine that sat downstairs will easily do 1,000 pieces an hour.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
The only real thing that's stopping it is the squishy thing that stands there in a baseball cap. So if we say that, all right, I'm going to buy a machine that's capable of doing 1,000 pieces an hour, but it takes at least an hour to set up, I really should have a minimum run of 1,000 pieces. And anybody who wants less than 1,000 pieces, I shouldn't be screen printing it. It shouldn't be an option for small number decoration because it is a mass production machine, mass reproduction machine.
Yeah. So, is that your stance? Are you out? I knew you were out in the stance that screen printing is for 1,000 plus.
Well, historically, it always has been. Yeah, it's only changing recently because the customer demands it, which is why we've seen such an explosion in pre-press. Why would we bother investing so much money in pre-press? It's because we have to streamline. We have to cut all the waste and inefficiency out of pre-press. We can't afford the 4-hour setup anymore.
No, it's too many job swaps.
Yeah, that 4 hours has to be paid for, and it's paid for in the first shirt, and then that cost gets dissolved over the next 1,000. Once that cost gets dissolved, we don't see it, so we don't mind doing it. But when we've only got 50 shirts to dissolve that 4-hour prep in, how much time do you think you put in, you personally, on preparing that 6-colour job? You said you did the steps.
It's removing Annie out of the equation.
Yeah. I'm going to say no if you were Annie. If you only had Annie.
An hour. Half an hour sep work. I would say an hour and a half to 2 hours. Oh, no, let's go.
Screens, setup, mixing colours, picking colours.
3 hours, Could be close to 3 hours. If you really put everything up, including mixing inks, including registering, which is quite a quick process now, but mixing inks, printing the films. Why is that? I'm just right good. Expert guidance from Mr. Palm Print Consultants.
It's because you bought your machine from
MHM Direct GB, UK PLC Limited.
Hey,
I just asked them for some sleeve palettes.
Yeah.
Gave me a quote on Monday.
Oh, sorry.
I need some sleeve palettes. I need some tote palettes. If you're listening, I need to.
Yeah, I don't think she is.
Chances are slim. Either, to be fair.
So, so you've got 3 to 3.5 hours of your time.
I reckon for a 6-colour, if I had to put an average figure, a 6-colour, let's call 3 hours.
And how many pieces?
Minimum 50. I won't touch anything.
What was that job?
That were 50.
50 pieces.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to earn minimum wage at, 12 quid or whatever it is. God, that's too difficult to work out. Let's call it 15. So there's 45 quid's worth of your time just before you even get to the press. Okay, that 45 quid's got to be divided.
I'm going to have to go for a wee. Come back. Oh, my daughter's gone as well. Give me a sec. Well,
You went for a tactical as well 45 minutes ago.
I've basically just drunk that today. Went right through me.
Mine's not quite as trendy.
Oh. Right, sorry. Maths. So,
Okay,
50-piece
let's look
job.
at this. Let's look at this a different way. That 3 hours was 3 hours you weren't running that press.
Yeah.
Because you were doing the prep. Now, let's say an average, and I know from asking lots of different people, the cost for every hour that passes that you're not contributing. So how much does it cost you to keep that shop open? And on a big shop, it's about 400 quid an hour. On a little shop like yours, I would say it's probably close to 100, 150 quid an hour. That's everything, rent, insurance, Adobe subscription, everything all putting together.
Yeah.
So 3 hours of losing 150 quid an hour is 450 quid lost revenue that it cost you to get to the first shirt. You've got to try and divide that money over 50 pieces. Now, I ain't got a calculator in front of me, but
tell me the equation.
450 divided by 50. 9. So
You were
every
almost
shirt,
quicker than a calculator then.
every shirt cost you 9 quid without ink and your time to actually print it.
Right, let me just quickly look at my invoice. I'm not going to tell you the price, but it would be an interesting thing to look at. Let's have a look. Calculator. Yeah, there's not a lot left after that. Not an awful lot.
No,
It's a bit,
but if that was 1,000 pieces,
the
next 950, you would have been laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
It's only the first 50 that you lost money on. And that's the point I'm trying to make. That the process is set up to lose money in the first 50 to 100 pieces. And when the total order is between 50 and 100 pieces, the system's set up to lose money. So by rights, what should happen is we should be charging that 9 quid for every print to get back our lost money. And then you get the people say, oh, people won't pay it, they want to pay 50p. Well, then who's the fool?
Oh, yeah. Well, us, obviously.
Yeah. Now, you can see why people got into screen printing, because they would gamble the 450 quid and getting a job running and then run it all day. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pieces. As soon as it got it up and running, they had to put that initial gamble in. Somebody had to put the stake, the money up front, in the time involved to get the first print off. But once it were off and running, now it's a factory job. Now it's just get me some arms and legs around this press here. I just don't want to see it stop. If you want to go for a wee, bring someone in. Don't let it stop. Get somebody scraping those inks in. That's why we used to have 5 and 6 people around a press. Yeah. Because it was more important to not allow it to stop.
Yeah.
We used to swap people in at breaks. The breaks were staggered. So that press never stops. It can't ever stop.
Yeah. I guess that illustrates the point, and does it back up the statement that to make money in this industry, you do have to be on a production level. And it's okay, and this comes from me sort of thinking, it's okay having a couple of hands extra help and churning out 50s and 100s, and the occasional 500 or 600 piece run. But really, if I really want to make money out of it, and I want to make a proper go at it, I've got to think bigger and to scale up to be putting out those 500 pieces almost daily.
Yeah, I'd love to flip it on its head completely and say, right, okay, I've got a customer here, Danny. He's guaranteed to give you 50 quid every time that squeegee moves. You don't have to work any harder. You don't have to scale anything up. You keep producing the same good quality work you're producing now, but you actually start to get rich at it.
It's unattainable, isn't it? Who's paying that?
Yeah, that's my point. The Balenciagas, the Armanis, those are
they're
paying
not.
that.
No, they're not. They're paying 2 or 3 quid like every other idiot. they're just fucking sticking 1,000% markup on because they've got a name and a whatever. And but they're not paying that type of money. In fact, I can give you a story. This came from a Rallywise rep. Was it Kanye West? Kanye West, I think it was. He had a clothing brand, and they were selling hoodies, t-shirts for in the hundreds, 150 quid, 200, 300 quid. And all they were doing, they were buying all we do is hoodies, or they were buying Gildans, and they were putting a poxy little print on, but then roughing them up. They'd have people literally in factories with grinders and sanders, tearing the edges or burning them a little bit of stuff. I'm selling them for hundreds.
I've seen 3 wooden school rulers. You know the wooden school rulers with a Stanley knife blade. No, an old-fashioned razor blade that your granddad used to use, cutthroat.
Yeah.
Sellotaped on the end of 3 rulers, and the guy's job is just to go like that.
Wow.
To put the rips in the tops, and that's how they put them in.
20 quid on top of that, just for ripping it.
Yeah.
But I could do that. I could do that, could I? I could go put some rips in this and sell it for 500 quid. It's just a person that's selling it, isn't it, I guess? It's a brand.
Yeah. Not on Bread Market, anyway.
No.
So yeah, I did go down that quality route. Then
so in
I
conclusion, DTF is on
conclusion.
a losing battle, and it'll all come back to screen print eventually. That's what we can unanimously agree.
No, I go the other way. I think DTF's going to get bigger and better.
I know you do. I think I don't think screen print.
It won't replace screen printing, as in screen printing will not be no more. But it will become a larger decoration technique than screen printing currently is. As a screen printer, you can't afford to ignore DTF. You can't call it a poor transfer.
No, all right.
Over here, this is where my opinion is changed. Is over here, and it's down to the machine that I see in use with SPSI, the people I work with over here. Now, it is a Chinese machine. They're all Chinese machines. Probably all the ink is made in one big factory in Zhejiang province somewhere. So there's not really any discernible difference between the white one, the black one, the blue one. But what I've seen over here is there are some really clever people, some experts, if you like, in the application process. So the printing technique, which is the software settings, the settings of the hardware and the materials that we use and the process. And what they've done is make it absolutely superb. It feels soft. It's not heavy. It's not plasticky. It's nice and bright. And the skill level required to do it, because somebody's already worked out the settings and given to you on the USB stick and said, right, just use those settings and it'll all be fine.
Yeah.
Then it works. I haven't seen it in any other way, though. I haven't seen it. There's a blue machine. I haven't seen them do it. They just give you the press straight off the boat from China and say, right, off you go. You should just put ink in the top, paper in the bottom, press print.
But this is where my argument comes from, that those who have took the time and care about the application and found the little tips and tricks and tweaked the settings and found the optimal way to put that transfer on a shirt and make it look retail quality. Was it 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000? And those 999 other DTF applicators who were probably just middle-aged couples who were sick of working in Morrison stacking shelves and were thinking, what can we make a bit of money on? We won't buy a cry cut anymore, we'll buy a DTF machine.
Yeah.
And
used to be buying a bar in Benidorm. I'm not doing that anymore.
Buy in Benidorm. Set up an Irish bar in Benners.
Yeah.
But my this is what I'm saying. So because of that, because it is that accessible, will that flood the market and change the impression?
Have you seen Wakey Wines?
I've seen
to
Wakey
me, Abdul.
Wines, yeah.
Go away, Abdul. Come
back. Whoa, get back, Abdul. What happened to him? He get busted for cocaine or something? Not heard of him in ages.
Before he became Wakey Wines, yeah. He was a But I don't know. You know he lives opposite me, don't you?
He was a very naughty boy, wasn't he?
You know he lives
He lives
opposite my
opposite.
house.
Oh, like
Yeah. I look out my bedroom window and the Wakey Wine van is there.
Wow. There's some dollar, that kid, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Off coconut water. He's got right frame of mind. Sod screen printing, just sell some disgusting coconut water for about 1,000 times the markup.
Yeah. Yeah, why the hell not?
Right. Topic number.
So we've done that, haven't we?
Let's draw a line under it. We're done with
Yeah.
DTF. It's a screen print podcast. Have we had a DTF expert on yet? I don't think we have, had we?
No, we asked. He said he'd do it, and I need to get him back on.
Let's get a DTF. We've got this little mini series that we started off. We got ask get the experts in type of thing.
We've got 2 more to do.
We're missing embroidery and we're missing DTF.
Got them lined up. Just needs to do a date.
All right. Right then, smashing. What else do you know?
Where did I go from there?
At the moment,
went to Utah. First time I've been there, so now I've only got 11 more states to do, and I've done all 50.
Really?
Then,
what are you missing?
Top left-hand corner, bottom middle. So Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Washington and Oregon. And Alaska.
That was a ticker move.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm sure you've been to some... I thought you'd been to Alaska.
No, I've got the guy who's just bought a press that we saw at Long Beach in January. He's from Alaska, Jolly Roger. And he's just bought a press.
Yeah.
So then I found myself with a bit of a day off.
Mm.
So, I don't know what to do. I'm in Texas, a bit of a day off. I'll go see my mate Lewis. So I went to go see my mate Lewis, who had the worst day he's ever had. So we'll skirt over that.
What, coincidence that you turned up?
Yeah, I jinxed him, definitely. Absolutely.
I know that feeling, Lewis.
Cheers. So, yeah, managed to fit in Circuit of the Americas, F1 Grand Prix in Austin. Supreme day. Absolutely like a dog with 2 dicks all day, walking around in red hot sunshine. Trying not to spend all my money on useless tap.
Hot dogs. Hot dogs and cowboy hats.
Yeah, hot dogs, cowboy hats, and merch that I know is printed for fuck all.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm
it's a
looking
difficult one, that.
150 quid for a cap.
Shut up. 150 quid, is that what we're going for now?
150 for a cap.
That's ridiculous.
Well, no, we've only got 5 races left. You wait 6 weeks, they'll be going for 35 quid in sale.
I picked up, they did some quite cool, they're almost like, the American football jerseys that they make.
Mm.
Really, really quite high quality, like full-blown polyester with the basketball mesh and lots of colours and designs and embroidered badges. They did a Miami one last year. And literally a couple of days later after the race, there was on the F1 Outlet website, and I've got one for like 15 quid. But I can guarantee for 120, I bet for a couple hundred quid at the actual event.
So what got me was, so I got there early to get my money's worth because I'm tight, and I stayed there late, so I didn't get stuck in all traffic. But after the race, which Mercedes were horrendous, Red Bull were okay, and Ferrari won. I think Ferrari won.
Was that the one Norris did? Oh, did Leclerc win?
Norris and Verstappen fighting, weren't they, on the corner?
Well, what's new?
So, yeah, that could have been any of the last 6. So, what was really interesting, on the way out, like an hour after, the merch people had got the signs which were already printed. So, the worst team, which was Mercedes, in my opinion, 35% off.
Wow.
On your way out.
No
Red
way.
Bull, who did okay, 15% off. Ferrari, who did superb, same price. No
I
discount.
bet it's cheaper to just get rid of it than to ship it to the next race.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like, look, we've had a bad race. Sales have been down. So on your way out, if you
Chuck a sign.
catch them on the out, 35% off if your team's losing.
I bet you cleaned up, didn't you? You've got the full Mercedes gear now, haven't you? Full
Well,
blown
no, because
tracksuit.
I've got this dilemma, haven't I? So I didn't know which hat to buy, whether to buy a Mercedes hat, a Lewis hat, or a Ferrari hat, because it'll be Ferrari next year.
I bet you got a Franco Colapinto hat instead.
No, I got Circuit of the Americas, mate. It's cheaper. Stayed neutral. And I might actually wear that out in public.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
a bit jealous.
I had a good weekend, really. It was one off the bucket list. Ticked. Go to a foreign race.
Is that your first? So that's your first international?
First foreign race, yeah. Yeah, after Silverstone, that's the first one I've done, which it was awesome. It would have been a lot better, sat in pit lane on a VIP pass, but I got the cheapest ticket possible, which was great for me. Walked around, clocked up 26 miles walking around.
Shuff it now, a marathon.
My legs were killing me.
I know the feeling, actually. Me and Ailey I had my first holiday in 11 years.
It's only the second time you've been on a plane, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah. First time to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I am not a fan of airports. I to the point where I'm like, is going abroad even with it? I don't know.
I love airports. I think airports are awesome. Why?
Do you just get a kick out of queuing and being surrounded by hundreds of people? It's awful.
No, you need to get a lounge.
We did. So on his way, we got the lounge where you just eat what you want. And by Christ, I've never ate so much English breakfast in my life. That's 17 plates. 17 plates, 28 pints before we even set off. And then
a pint in an airport. Yeah.
We were there that long that the breakfast changed to dinner. I mean, I did it all again. But
well, were you delayed?
No, so that was on the way there. That was all planned. That was all intentional. And then on the way back, we got to the airport in Greece, and it was like 8 o'clock anyway at night, so I was already a bit tired. And then it was delayed like 4 hours, and obviously you sit in an airport for like 2 or 3 hours anyway, so that plus 4 hours on top. Got home and then I had to drive home from Manchester. Got home at about 6:30 in the morning. That sort of like scared me a little bit.
Yeah, if you get the time wrong, it can be. I've done 14 hours in an airport before.
Oh, how do you cope?
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Just
sit playing laptop and stuff.
Yeah, get some work done. It's not the worst place in the world when you think about it. You've got access to food, drink, people, and free Wi-Fi. So I'm normally okay. I normally get a lot of work done. You're a seasoned veteran. I used to write a lot of Images magazine articles were all done in airports. Yeah. So I used to blame Rachel at Images that whether she had some sort of influence, whether my flight was delayed, if she really needed an article from me. Like, how much influence do you have on these aeroplanes? Because I'm 4 hours delayed and you're wanting an article.
Coincidence. I guess you're used to it. For me, it was a bit of a... I also made the decision that I was adamant I wasn't going to go to sleep on the plane back. I was just going to stay awake because I knew I had to drive back. Ayla said, just have a nap. Just have a nap. You've got a 4-hour flight. I was like, no.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Cabin was dark. Everybody was asleep. And I was just sat there like looking around for 4 hours, stewing over my life. It was disgusting.
No, go to sleep, man. That's why you have a pint beforehand.
Anyway, lessons were learned. So the actual holiday was pretty good. So it was nice to have a break, switch off a bit, recharge your batteries. And maybe that's why I'm so enthusiastic.
And the world didn't end, did it? You have some time off, and the world doesn't end.
I mean,
it's good.
Yeah, it was good. Sort of a quiet time anyway, so I think timing was really convenient. quiet before the storm with a bit of luck, and I think things are just kicking off now. I think we're in that Christmas period now, aren't we? Where everybody
Halloween's
stocks up
done.
Yeah,
Halloween's done. Put your mask away, get your Santa suit out, basically.
it's like a switch, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy over here. It happens really quickly over here. They really go big for Halloween over here.
Yeah,
and then it's right to Christmas.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily all for Christmas-related stuff. I just think everybody stocks up before the end of the year because they know gifts are going to start selling, and I just always experience a big surge of orders that put me on my arse just in time for Christmas. I mean, luckily we've got Christmas, we've got a bit of a break to chill out
and recover. Yeah. Let's talk about glue.
Well, because some changes.
I did this show, and I used just one palette of the temperature change stuff.
Why?
Because it was a show and I didn't want it to fuck up completely in front of everybody because I thought it'd be a bitch to take off. So I just did one palette to test it, and all the other palettes I had palette paper and water-based glue with a roller, which is my all-time favourite. I love it. I think it's great. I went to a place up in Utah who've only changed their palette paper once this year. And they do not use water-based glue. They use spray tack and solvent roll-on. Their palettes were this thick.
So that was
they lost off contact on 2 of their presses because they couldn't lift the screens up any higher because they thought it was normal to not change this paper. So you just roll it until it gets too thick, and then you change it. No. How often do you change it? Sometimes once a day. Really?
Yeah.
Hey, come here.
Going from
this guy wants to change the palette paper once a year. Whoa.
Which is at least 50 quid a month.
Yeah. So, I'm doing another seminar on Thursday, and I'm going to put it on all palettes on this press. I've got enough of the PMI palette gel, whatever it's called, not print grip, PMI.
No.
Palette gel. So this stuff changes colour when your palettes are warm enough to print, which, let's just take that for a minute and think about, why has nobody thought of that before?
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Why have I not had a colour indicator? Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's absolutely superb. A colour-changing sticker would do the same. Anything. Should just let me know. And I tell you what, I was running at the show and I could hear sticking. So, my granny's kiss. So I could hear it sticking. And I thought, oh. And then when the palette came round, it was cold. I thought it was warm enough, it felt warm enough, but it had changed colour. Did a little preheat, it changed to colour to yellow. Next print, no sticking. Look, it actually works. It does actually work.
Yeah.
So I like it. Apparently it's only in a prototype stage though, so I don't think it's actually available for sale yet. It's still in the sample stage, but there's a lot of samples gone out.
Yeah, I know a couple of printers who have used it. I mean, obviously because I've tried the print grip, the actual print grip, twice now, and every time I've got all excited and gone, oh, it's great, I love it. And then over a bit of time, I've realised there are problems and there are things that need to be fixed to make it a genuine solution, in my opinion. And it sounds like PMI have they must have asked shops, have took that feedback because they seem to have tackled those particular issues.
I would say one of the things if I had to be negative about it, it wasn't quite strong enough. But the other stuff is too strong.
Exactly. So that was one of the problems. Print grip is you will have a misprint rate just purely by turning things to rugby balls. You'll stretch crap out of it, and it's just
This didn't, which made me think. I wonder how long it'll last. Because don't forget, in the show, I'm not printing in anger. So it made me question how long it will last, and I'll find that out on Thursday when I'm printing all day with it.
I think that'd be really valuable feedback because I do think there are a lot of printers who jumped on the print grip, like myself. Just couldn't quite get on with it. Wanted to. I definitely wanted to. I really liked the concept and thought, oh, this is great. No glue. What a brilliant invention. It just didn't quite work out. So I would be interested to hear how PMI, if they have overcome those issues and made some that step extra.
Because
However,
I'd only put it on one palette, I could see a difference from one print to the next. And that difference was positive where the gel was on it. So I've got one palette with print gel and the other palette with paper. And side by side, I could see with the printer's eye, the print gel was a little brighter and a little cleaner.
How interesting.
Mm.
That is a really interesting...
I think basically you're increasing the distance between... So you're getting more pressure, basically. You're allowed to use more pressure. So I'm obviously on the minimum end of pressure. And it obviously looks a little bit low on the normal palette. But when the palette was lifted up a mil because of this gel, it actually gave me a little bit more ink without costing me too much detail. Yeah.
You've got a fraction of cushion, which doesn't sound like a good thing. You'd think harder, like a hard metal surface, you'd think that'd be better for a crisper print, but maybe that tiniest fraction of cushioning helps to just smooth instead of...
It worked. It did. It definitely worked. Liked it.
To be honest, I'm never going back. I've adopted F20 with a spray gun. I'm never going back.
I'm fully you're on now. Are you on
fully
with spray
sold, gun? Fully sold, fully committed.
So we've got your technique down.
I've got a gas canister in a trolley, which wheels around shop wherever I need it.
Yeah.
I've got my air gun. I've got it fine tuned. I get a nice even coat. I tack it up. What do? I'm getting equal amount of prints, maybe even more. In fact, actually more than print grip with one application of glue. More than print grip. Way more than spray adhesive. I mean, spray adhesive in a can, like every couple of prints, I might be topping it up. There's no mess, zero mess. And any sort of concerns about the stringiness or the build-up, I've just not experienced it. I think if you get it in a can, you'll have problems. Get it on a spray gun, you'll be laughing.
It's all about that technique.
Yeah.
If you try and use the air gun like a can, it goes all over. But if I showed you the video of the guy, and it made no mess. It was perfect, and there was no string. So I picked it up. It was like a German porn film. It went through my head. You know me too well now because it actually went through my head, and I had a discussion with myself.
About to use.
Don't say it, Tony. So yeah,
you get used to it
if you've got the technique down. That's great.
It's not that hard to get. Just.
To
be fair, Alex at Supreme, he actually gave me a voice. I told him I was going to use it. First thing he did, get on video call. Said, right, just twist your nozzle a bit. Try it. Twist it a bit more. And he gave me that little bit of a walkthrough.
Oh, that's good.
That's Alex, isn't it? What a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
I was on the right path from the start, so it didn't take long to get used to.
Right, okay, so glue.
What are you looking like? Timing?
We're okay just for now. We're going to ask this last question, which is going to be all about you.
Oh, God.
Oh, good or oh, God?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So, when did you buy your press?
We're very close to a year. Very close to a year.
So, a year on.
I keep looking at my stories, waiting for that one to come up. We must be days away.
So, 1 year on.
Yeah.
The switch from manual printing to auto printing.
Yeah.
What's your takeaways from it? What's your biggest takeaway from it? Because what were you most frightened of before you made the switch? What were you most frightened of?
I was terrified of it even turning on. I was terrified that it would actually all work together because obviously we had the power issue. The power and the space were the two things where I was like, Have I just spent all this money and I'm not actually going to be able to use it? So that as soon as the very day we turned it on and it was all working, all that weight just disappeared. A year on, I don't think I've ever made a better decision in my life. Probably the best decision ever made.
That's a good statement. That's a huge statement from a manual printer like yourself that was, busy but not over busy.
I was way over busy.
No big contracts.
No. So I was extremely overworked, doing little jobs, not making a lot of money. Extremely overworked, absolutely exhausted. 11 years of grafting like an idiot. That auto changed my life. I've had quiet spells, but made money and had quiet spells. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to improve. I do need to flatten those curves, if you like. When the sales dip, I've got to flatten that out. I have busy spells, and then I have the quiet spells, and we need to get that leveled out a bit and fill those gaps a bit more. So there's work to do, but I've got the equipment to do it now. And best decision ever made.
What do you wish you'd known beforehand?
It's hard to put anything on. I wish I'd have just known how much it would have made my life easier, because I'd have done it way sooner.
And done it earlier.
I might even have done it 5 years. There was potential for me to get an auto almost 5 years before that I actually did. I came into a bit of money and I could have gone and done it then. But instead I bought a new manual and I bought some pre-press stuff and what have you. I wish I'd have just lumped it all in an auto, which I would have got a lot cheaper back then because the prices went up.
Crazy.
And then I started on that foot a lot sooner. But, I've learned, in that 5 years, I've learned even more and became a much better printer than I was back then. So
you got a positive on the amount of work you're getting out. You got a positive on the quality, or is it the same?
Quality.
Because remember, you are. I know what you're like. You're a perfectionist on this quality, and your handprints were superb. Probably to your detriment. It's probably why you didn't make any money. Is because you took so much care and attention to detail on making your handprints perfect.
I can say that over this year, this 12-month period, the quality gap from what I was printing on a manual has caught up. As I've got used to the press, as I've learned, but as I've adapted how I print, I can't necessarily get away with print V2 anymore. It don't work. It don't work on an auto. On the manual, I could get away with it because I could see when a screen ain't quite cleared, just give it another pull. Whereas on an auto, that V2, if you print flash print, the first few will work absolutely perfect and it'll look unbelievable. But at a certain point, as the ink starts to gel up a bit, it don't clear. It only takes that one shirt to throw the rest off. And that's something I've been fighting most of the year, persevering with, because it was sort of crucial to the way I used to print. And I've sort of let go of it and realised not the way to go. And this is where Plastisol's been introduced a little bit more.
Which white did you pick for Plastisol?
Street Fighter cotton.
SF. Oh.
Not low bleed, cotton white.
Okay.
Don't know why, I just feel like that might be a bit softer and a bit matter. And I've not tried low bleed to compare, to be fair. So I couldn't tell you if that's true or not. It was just the impression.
SF2 low bleed is my favourite go-to white because of the stuff that you print onto. If you're not printing onto much poly, then cotton white, okay, it's a bit cheaper. Doesn't quite have as much. Is it? Should be.
Maybe it is, don't know.
Not much.
I assumed cotton white was softer and matter. I always think of low bleeds and polyester inks as thicker and quite shiny.
Thicker and shinier, yeah.
Yeah, that's the impression.
Yeah, they are.
And I refuse to print polyester anymore, so I don't need it.
You got some poly? No, I'm good, thank you. I've got some poly in my job. Nope. You're
I've
good,
got
thanks.
a 7,000 piece polyester. It's white, one colour. Do you want it? Nah.
No, I'm
No,
good.
thank you.
Stick up your ass.
I'll stick to my 56 colours. Cheers.
Yeah. So all in all, a good decision. Yeah.
Yeah, best decision. Wish I'd done it sooner. I'll never go back. I've been printing up manual. I did a couple of jobs because I've not got the pallets to fit. Tote bags, toddler t-shirts, sleeves. I must admit I enjoyed myself. I had a little bit of a... Shall I keep it now? Maybe I'll keep it and just do the odd little job. But
You're emotionally
it's
attached to that
stupid.
press.
I am a bit.
You are
so
emotionally attached to it. It's not going anywhere.
Time's money though, isn't it? It's throwing money away. I could invest in a set of pallets, set of tote bag pallets, set of sleeve pallets, and triple, 10 times the amount of the amount of production I can do on those particular toddler t-shirts or sleeves or whatever. So it's just stupid, isn't it? Just money for throwing money in the bin.
It is really, yeah. It is, yeah.
And if we're not making money, what are we doing it for?
I think we're just about done. There's a couple of little bits that we can do, but we can go over those later.
Yeah, well, we've done an hour 16.
I think we've done all right, yeah. People get bored listening to me and you rattle on for a bit, but we'll do another one next week.
Let's do another. Where are you going to be?
I'll still be here.
Right.
So yeah, we'll do another one,
Right.
and we'll cover some more stuff. More regularly. Yeah.
Oh, I've actually got an anti-Ivy, but I'll save it for next week. And if anybody would like to contribute any questions or anything, it's been a while. Chuck some questions at us. Please comment just so that we know people have remembered us and caught up.
Still watching.
Back. Yeah. And let's have another go next week. See if we can have a proper run at it till Christmas.
That's a good run from me. We'll do something next week through the day. When I ain't got to rush off to go to work. Another gorgeous Texas.
Hey, you know what we didn't mention?
What?
Guess who's just been on Shirt Show? So keep an eye out for that episode.
I did do a little episode on Shirt Show. They rang me up and asked me. Actually, I was working with Kevin Cowth, the emulsion guru.
Oh yeah.
And he said to me, "Would you ever go on Shirt Show?" I said, "Yeah, I would. Yeah." I said, "Oh, all right, well, I'll put your name forward if you want." Well, all right, okay. 2 days later, they started following me on Instagram. I'm like, okay, we're in. Let's go.
That's the sign. Usually you get followed, and a couple of days later you'll get a DM.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's only my origin story though. It's like it's like
Snapping
in black and
bacon.
white. It's that old. Yeah.
Snapping bacon in Wakey.
Yeah, it's black and white. It's that old. Right. So all that remains to say is you have been watching, listening to, and hopefully contributing to me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny D, Flipper Sweet Print Co.
And if you like what you see, give us a follow, cheeky wink, whatever you want to do. Send us slip into Danny's DMs. He loves that. And then we'll catch up with you next time. I'll civvy.
Civvy, all best.
Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a Chippy Tea.